Hey everyone, I have here the LEGO Ninjago Legacy Golden Mech set. Now, check this out. Back in 2013, I reviewed a set called the Temple of Light that included the original full-scale rendition of this exact mech from Season 2 of the show. This is not a re-release of that set or the mech from that set. It's not just a revamp, it's actually a complete redesign that is on the market today, basically mostly for the sake of nostalgia, but also because, well, I mean, mechs never really go out of style. It was a cool thing that they came up with, so they brought it back for both older fans of the show who are nostalgic and also just current folks who are looking for an interesting kind of Japanese/Chinese inspired mech. This new one stands about 8.5 inches or 22 centimeters as measured at the head. If you include some of the spiky bits, you can take it up over 10 inches or 26 centimeters officially, but I like to look at just the main bulk. As is not always the case, this is actually built pretty consistently in terms of its level of fit and finish around the sides and around the back. I personally would have liked to see just a couple of inverted tiles added onto the heels back here, but otherwise, I mean, this doesn't look bad around the back, which a lot of Lego mechs have. They have looked completely unfinished. Compared to the size of a minifigure, this is no mini mech. This is proper, this is full-sized, and it has a lot of presence on display. Let's take a look at the articulation, what you can actually move. So at the shoulder joint, you have a ratchet, so you can bring the upper arm back. You can also bring it forward, and as viewed from the front, you can also splay it. You can open it and close it up a bit, so a pretty good range there. The elbow, each elbow also has a ball joint, so it's able to rotate like it's broken and come almost to 90 degrees here, and there's just a little bit of play as well from side to side because it is a ball joint, but it doesn't have, it's captured, so it doesn't have its full range of motion there. But mostly what you want from the elbow is just that right there. You got fingers, well, 3 normal fingers and then a thumb over here, and there's also in each hand a little axle pin which can be used as seen over here with the sword to hold it in place. When I reviewed the original, the sword just kept falling out as I went through just trying to demonstrate other things, so this is not going to happen on this one. That's something that they learned years ago and have used since. Works very well, makes it very easy to put the weapon in the hand, to take it out, and to have it stay there when you want it to. Now, big test. What can you do with these legs here? Well, ratcheted joints once again for the upper legs. I'm able to bring these forward a bit, not a lot. Goes back a lot farther. Also can splay outward fully, so it can do the side splits. And then it has knees. Yes. Check that out. It's got knees. So these are ball joints for the knees with a standard amount of friction, but I mean, it's something. And that little bit of extra movement you get from using ball joints allows you to, have a little extra play, a little extra give, and works in concert with the ball joint that is in each foot. So for the ankle, this can be rotated from side to side, actually quite a bit. An unrealistic amount, I think. Forward to back, not so much. It is limited there to help with stability, to make it more difficult to put this into a pose where it'll just fall down on its own, because it is a medium heavy model, but you can do things like this. They post it like this, get it into a suggestion of kneeling. Has to kind of lean off to one side to do this, but I think I can make it work. There we go. Yeah, so it's actually on a knee. It will bend the knee. It will take a knee. So, it's able to get down to the ground. It's a lot better than not being able to do it at all. And as far as getting it into action poses, again, friction is a bit limited. They don't have any friction adder joints in these ball joints, but they do have limitations to their total range of motion. So you are able to get it into some poses that, look like it's actually moving along. This is not the best pose. I'm just trying to show kind of the range and how it will stand up on its own without any assistance in some weird poses. See if I can get it something closer to standing. You know, if you just want to move the legs relative to each other a bit, just push the feet down to the ground, it's going to stay. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. Can't really ask for much more. I mean, the original didn't have knees, and most Lego mechs in the modern era have not had knees. Actually, most in general have not had knees over their history. So that works out pretty well. And then to get a figure in there, you've got this headpiece. Most of the decorations that you see on this are stickers, but they're just small. You know, and I think they definitely add most of the shaping of colors and everything that you see is done with legitimate building and small detailed pieces, which work out pretty well. Got some nice shaping for the chest here, but this is a major print, and I believe it's not the same one that they used for the original. I think they actually did a new graphic design. It's a little bit more detailed in the center there, but a nice printed piece, and this just opens up to give you space to put a figure in there. There's also a small printed console piece, just a little one there, but this will also close down all the way to give you full protection of your driver, your operator figure in there, so it does not need to stay open. Or if you want to be able to see them when they're in there, you can leave it open just a little bit. And there's an example of what that would look like with Golden Ninja Lloyd in there, and it will close down pretty well, seal up pretty well. So if you want to protect him, you're good. If you want to see him, you're good, and it's easy to get access as well. I should also mention that these things can be moved around just for slightly different looks. Like it looks a little bit more aggressive when they're up, a little bit more relaxed when they're down. They're on ball joints. You can actually bring them in pretty far, almost hide them away on the back. Almost looks like little wings. Maybe this is better for a running pose. Have it do a Naruto run or something like that, and just imagine the wind is blowing these back. The two good guy figures are obviously Golden Ninja Lloyd on the left and Wu on the right. I usually try to stay away from political stuff and socio-political stuff on this channel, but I do need to say one thing here. I am disappointed that Wu is not really Sensei Wu anymore. You know, they're moving towards just calling him Wu or Master Wu. And I believe the reason for that is very, very simple. And it's that China is an important growth opportunity for Lego. It's a more valuable market to them, so they don't want to have too much Japanese specific stuff in their products, and so they're moving away from that. And that's unfortunate. I understand it, but I kind of miss Wu being Sensei Wu, because that's what he was before. I have to say, regarding Lloyd, this is a good Golden Ninja. It's just really well done. I think the newer color of pearl gold that Lego has these days is superior to the old. It's more of a proper gold. The headgear piece for him is dual molded, so the dark green is nice and crisp. The edge of it is proper all the way around. It's got a proper scabbard that holds, or sheath that, scabbard, that holds just one single sword. He's got his newer Chinese style of sword now. And yeah, I think it's just a good looking figure. Nice to get another classic Wu as well. I have a bit of nostalgia myself for that outfit. And with some stuff removed, there's an alternate face for Lloyd, which has some pretty good detail, and it's very expressive. Not the most detail in the print on the back of his torso, but I think it matches well enough what's on the front. I'd like to see just a little more of something down here beneath the dragon emblem. But the print on the back of Wu's torso is very nice, and there are their main faces, or the ones that they selected. On the bad guy side, we get General Kozu and a Stone Army scout. The old scouts, or archers, had little short legs, the child-style legs. This new one has the full-sized one, or full-size set, which allows it to include print on there. Now, the prints are the same between the torsos for these two characters, and the prints for the legs are also the same. And I'm okay with that, because the additional second level of torso for Kozu, adds quite a lot to that figure. He also has one of the elemental swords there. The original set had all four, but that's because it came with the temple that had the space for all four. And there you can see the print on the back of the torso. There is no alternate face to be seen. Again, the torsos are the same, so I'm not going to take that off, but I will take this off, so you can see the full face for each of these, and those do look pretty proper and appropriate. Lastly, here's the meager selection of spare parts from this set. Really not a lot left over, and honestly, I'm not sure if this Technic ball piece was supposed to be a spare or if I just got truly an extra that wasn't intended to be there. Considering value here, this set is what, $40 US for almost 500 pieces? I can't ask for a better value on that basis. The price to part ratio looks phenomenal for this, and it doesn't consist of too many tiny pieces that would make that particular metric, the price to part ratio, skewed, in an unfair way. Personally, just looking at the volume of stuff that I get here, what's in front of me, I would like it to be $35, but I don't know if that's fair of me to ask for it to be that price. The original Temple of Light set, which included a slightly smaller version of a mech, that was $70 originally, but the mech was, I would say, less than half of what you were paying for there. So I think the price is, and the value level is similar to what we got in that one. I felt like that one was a little bit overpriced for the amount of stuff that you got. I feel like this is slightly as well. But again, with that number of pieces, when you consider how complete this build is, what you can do with it, how it's built all the way around. So here's the thing. I'm sure the designer could have made this at a $35 initial price point if they left off some of the details that are around the back. I feel like that's probably the trade-off that occurred here. And between the two, I'm not sure which is better. Personally, as an adult collector, I much prefer to have something that looks finished around the back. And so, I think the extra $5 is kind of worth it rather than having to source those pieces yourself. Overall, it's a good build. It's definitely, unquestionably, at least in my opinion, much better than the original. It has more articulation, it's larger, it's better detailed, it's more sturdy, it's a more enjoyable build to put together. Has pretty straightforward techniques, but pieces go together in nice ways, uses some fairly recent pieces that didn't exist before. The number of stickers is completely reasonable, if you ask me. This print up here on top is excellent, better than the one that they had before. The figures, I think, are good. I think it's a better Golden Ninja. I thought that I would never have a better Golden Ninja, because I have that original one still. But this, in my opinion, is better. It just makes more sense. It's not quite as bulky, but it doesn't have quite as much quantity, but it definitely has much better quality, significantly better quality, especially with the dual molding for the headgear piece, and the single scabbard makes more sense. It's a very good Kozu as well, even though it just uses I guess you could call it a generic torso piece, not specialized, and it has the upper torso. So just in general, I feel like the stuff that LEGO has put together here is good, and in general, the Legacy series has been good, and I'd say continues to be good up to this point. Maybe this could have a little bit more articulation, but it might even need to be a little bit bigger at that point to accommodate some extra weight in order to have space for more joints to still be at, let's see, what is the suggested age range here? 8+. Yeah, you can't ask for too much from an 8+ set, honestly. There are certain standards for simplicity of how things go together to be able to follow the instructions. So I think if this was targeted at an even older market, where it's really just for the nostalgia for original Ninjago fans who were fans back in Season 2 when Season 2 was new, then they could have made something that was a little bit fancier. But as it is for, trying to go for those fans as well as younger fans of just today, maybe who are new to Ninjago or who don't even care about Ninjago, they just look at this box and they say, wow, that looks cool, I want that. It's done pretty well. So definitely hats off to the designer and designers, the entire team. There's definitely a team effort involved in putting together something like this, and most of the sets that LEGO does, to really focus down and consider all the potential markets and all the potential customers. So I'm pretty happy with this one overall. Wouldn't mind if it was just a little bit cheaper though. Let me know what you think. I've got the full length real-time build that's been published, and also the speed build for this. You can check out those two on their respective channels. I'll talk to you again as soon as I can.